Okay, so Peter here. So when Halloween starts approaching, the pumpkins start encroaching. So I'm going to show you now how to carve a pumpkin and give you some good Halloween tips. But first, let's get into my costume. Okay, now that I got my costume on, I know I'm pretty hard to recognize, but I'm going as Peter Rabbit. Okay? Okay, so let's go carve our pumpkin now. Okay, so now we got our pumpkin here on the table. And I got our PBR because you gotta have a beer to do pumpkin carving. The first thing you want to do is get a sharp knife. So when you're cutting the pumpkin's top off, you want to cut it at a bit of an angle all the way around, so that when you go to put the candle in, you can just take the lid on and off. Okay? Now I'm going to start cutting the pumpkin. Just like that. Now we got the pumpkin top off. Okay, so now that we got the top of our pumpkin off, we're going to take an empty PBR can or any beer you have, and then if you use a can opener around the rim, I got one of these side can openers. You just cut it off. And just like that, we have a nice scraper to scrape the inside of the pumpkin out. Now you're probably wondering, well, how are you going to scoop all that gunk out, Peter? Well, I'm going to show you. That same PBR can that we took the top off of, we're going to take some scissors. We're going to make ourselves a little scoop. Just like that. Now we're going to scoop it all out. Big pro tip for this part is you're going to want to put some newspapers on your table, or else your old lady is going to be pretty pissed about getting pumpkin guts all over it. Okay, so now that we got our pumpkin all cleaned out, it's time to carve it. We're going to carve this nice beautiful flat side here. You're probably wondering, Peter, what kind of carving are you going to be doing today? Well, I'm going to show you this great way to carve pumpkins in pretty much seconds. My cousin Jeff from Whitemouth taught me this one a couple of years ago. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. We're going to use a drill and some nice spade bits. Hey, look at that, it's orange, it even matches our pumpkin. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to do a couple of eyes. Isn't that incredible? I made my eyes in a matter of seconds. I put on a bit of a smaller bit now to do the mouth. And there we have it, Peter's pumpkin. Okay, so now that the pumpkin's carved and we got it lit up, there's nothing better we can do than have a beer. I got this one called Chunky Knit Sweater. Someone said it would be pretty good for Peter, so let's just try it out. It's a pumpkin cake ale. It smells like pumpkin pie. When I was a kid, they used to call me Peter, Peter Pumpkin Eater, because I used to always go and gnaw on the jack-o'-lanterns at the neighbor's house, but since I grew up, I stopped doing that. Now for a couple tips for trick-or-treaters. The first tip is, it's always nice to have some scary music playing for when kids come to the door, so it makes it more frightening for them. If you play some Taylor Swift, there's nothing scarier than that, but it may almost be too scary that it will scare them away. The other thing that's going to scare kids away is if you give apples out. Nobody wants anything healthy around Halloween, okay? And all it's going to do is get your house thrown out with eggs. My last little tip for Halloween in 2020 is you might want to wear a mask if there's lots of kids coming to your house. That way, in case you have a cough, you don't cough on them. I have my mask here already. It really ties together my costume of being Peter Rabbit, and then it's going to keep the kids safe. Okay, happy Halloween.
Bye, best videos.